Good morning, children. This is Mahbub Subhani, your biology teacher. Because of lockdown, we have been conducting your classes online so that you will not miss touch with the subject. And coming to today's topic, most of us see around us changes happening. For some changes, we know the reason, they are visible, but some changes happen without our notice. For example, most of you might have observed your mother is preparing curd at home. How curd is prepared? Girls must be watching, and some of the boys even they will be watching. First, milk is boiled and it is let to cool down. When the milk is lukewarm, your mother will add a spoon or 2 spoons of buttermilk or a spoon of curd. So overnight it becomes curdled. Is the change visible? No, it's not visible. The change takes place slowly. What is working here? Some invisible things are involved in this. So apart from human beings, animals, plants, there are some invisible things in our nature which are very, very small, which cannot be seen with our naked eye. So they are called as microorganisms. Our today's topic is about microorganisms. What are microorganisms? What are the different types of microorganisms? And what are their benefits? And what are their harmful effects on human beings? Actually, your topic in 8th class is microorganisms, friend and foe. You know the meaning of friend and foe? Friend, all of you know. Friend, our friend, useful to us. It helps us. Foe is enemy. It causes harm to us. So there are microorganisms which are useful to human beings and animals and plants, which are called friendly microorganisms. And there are some microorganisms which are harmful, which cause diseases in human beings, plants and animals. They are called foe, or enemies, or harmful microorganisms. So what are these different types of microorganisms? We try to understand. So based on their effect, based on their good or bad effect, microorganisms are broadly classified as friendly microorganisms or useful microorganisms, and harmful microorganisms, that is foe. Apart from this, microorganisms are broadly categorized into 4 groups. They are viruses, bacteria, protozoans, fungi. Also, algae, which are microscopic plants, are also considered as microorganisms. Though they do not cause any harm to human beings, first 4 types, viruses, bacteria, protozoans and fungi, they cause diseases in human beings as well as in plants and animals. Algae, though they are not so harmful, they are also considered under this chapter because they are also microorganisms, microscopic organisms which cannot be seen most of the times with our naked eye. Another reason why they are called as microorganisms is they can be observed only under microscope. For our naked eye, they are not visible. So these are all called microorganisms. Today in this class, we will be first dealing with viruses and bacteria. What are the different types of microorganisms, viruses and bacteria, and what are their effects on human beings and plants and animals. Today we will try to understand these two in this period. Let us first talk about viruses. Viruses are the smallest microorganisms and they are considered as special type of microorganisms. They are special because when virus is outside host body, that host can be a human being or a plant or an animal or any other microorganism like bacteria. When this virus is outside the host body, you cannot identify it. It looks like a non-living thing. Once it enters into the host body, it takes shelter in the host cells and starts multiplying and then reproducing and increasing in number. Then it causes harmful effects in the human beings or plants or animals. So what are the different types of problems caused by viruses? Viruses cause many diseases in human beings. What are those diseases? Let us try to understand. A common disease caused by virus is common cold. You might have suffered in rainy season or beginning of the rainy season, running nose, cough and fever. It's called common cold. Common cold is caused by viruses. And flu, which is called as influenza. Influenza is also caused by viruses. And you might have observed in your society some of the children who are limping. Paralysis, childhood paralysis, which is commonly polio. Polio is also caused by viruses. And smallpox is also caused by viruses. Apart from these common problems, common cold, influenza, polio and smallpox, there are also some severe diseases like AIDS is caused by viruses. Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, it is caused by a virus called HIV. So these are all diseases which are caused by viruses. So viruses are harmful to human beings and they cause all these common diseases, common cold, influenza, polio, smallpox and AIDS. Some of these diseases can be prevented by taking precautions, health precautions, and many of the diseases have vaccines also. So these are viruses, special type of microorganisms. These viruses cause all the listed diseases in human beings. And these diseases can be either prevented by taking precautions or for some diseases we have vaccines. For example, the most common vaccine, most of you are aware, is polio vaccine. Polio drops are given throughout the country on a particular date. So the government is planning to completely eradicate polio. Smallpox is completely eradicated. It was a very dreadful disease some decades back, but now it's completely eradicated. Polio is also at the verge of eradication. For the past almost 2 decades, government is giving immunization for polio. So these diseases are caused by viruses or viral diseases. Viral diseases, some are very common, very simple. Common cold, if you take, not so serious. It is, everybody suffers from common cold. Not so serious. After 3 or 4 days or maybe within a week, automatically it gets cured. But there are some diseases like AIDS which are very serious. There are some medicines, but still we cannot confidently say that AIDS can be treated. Most of the people who are infected with AIDS, we can prolong their life by giving some medications, but it's a very dreadful disease. So these diseases are caused by viruses. Let's go to the second type of microorganisms, which are bacteria. What are bacteria and what are bacterial diseases we see? And before going to bacteria, another very dreadful disease which is now threatening everybody, keeping all of us at home is, what is that? Coronavirus. Corona is also a virus which causes disease, respiratory infections. It spreads through air. That's why we are using masks and staying at home, keeping physical distance, social distancing. Because of coronavirus only, now we are all at home under lockdown. So these viruses are very dreadful, cause diseases in human beings. The second microorganism is bacteria. Bacteria are very vast in number. These bacteria can be classified for our convenience of study in different types. One way of classifying bacteria is based on their shape. Based on their shape, bacteria are 4 types. Coccus, Bacillus, Vibrio and Spirillum. Bacteria, some of them are round in shape, some of them are rod shaped, some are like spring, spirillum, some are like comma. Based on their shape, bacteria are classified into 4 types. 4 types of bacteria based on their shape, body shape. Some are round, some are rod like, some are spring like, and some are comma shaped. These are all different shapes of bacteria. Based on their shape, bacteria are classified for the sake of understanding them, studying them easily. There is another type of classification of bacteria, that is based on the Gram staining. Based on Gram staining, bacteria are classified into two types: Gram positive bacteria, Gram positive bacteria and Gram negative bacteria. Negative bacteria. There is another general classification of bacteria, that is useful bacteria and harmful bacteria. Of course, for that matter, in the beginning I said all the microorganisms are not harmful. Similarly, all the microorganisms are not useful. There are some which are useful to human beings, and there are many which are harmful. That's why the lesson itself, title itself, friend and foe, both. When it comes to bacteria, there are some bacteria which are useful to human beings, a good bacteria, friendly bacteria, and there are many bacteria which are harmful to human beings. First, let us talk about the useful bacteria or good bacteria or friendly bacteria. What are those good bacteria? I started this lesson by just asking you some questions. How curd is prepared? Curd is prepared by boiling the milk and then letting it cool down. When the milk is lukewarm, a spoon of curd or 1 or 2 spoons of buttermilk is added to milk. Overnight it becomes curd. So here a friendly bacteria plays a vital role, that is lactobacillus. So one useful bacteria or friendly bacteria to human beings is lactobacillus. Lactobacillus is present in our body also, in our intestine. It is a useful bacteria and it helps in preparation of curd. Also, there is another microorganism. Of course, when it comes to fungus, we will discuss yeast also is useful to human beings. Now coming to bacteria, bacteria which is useful for the plants is Rhizobium. How is it useful? You might have heard about Rhizobium in your previous classes, maybe in 7th class or 6th class. This Rhizobium bacteria lives in the root nodules of plants, particularly leguminous plants like groundnut. This bacteria helps the plant in fixing nitrogen. As you all know, the percentage of nitrogen in atmosphere is 78, highest number. Though it is available in plenty in the atmosphere, this nitrogen, atmospheric nitrogen, cannot be utilized by plants. To be utilized by plants, it has to be converted into other forms of nitrogen, nitrates and nitrites. Only then it can be utilized. So that job is done by Rhizobium. Rhizobium converts atmospheric nitrogen into nitrates and nitrates and fixes in the soil. Plants take up this nitrogen through the roots from the soil and then it is utilized in synthesis of proteins. Nitrogen has a role in synthesis of proteins, and from plants it goes to the animals and human beings, and when these animals and human beings bodies, dead bodies are disintegrated and mixed in the soil, again it goes to the soil. It's a cycle. Nitrogen keeps on circulating from atmosphere to the soil, from soil to the plants, from plants to animals and human beings, and then again back to atmosphere and soil. These two are useful bacteria or friendly bacteria. Lactobacillus is a useful bacteria which helps in preparation of curd, and Rhizobium is a bacteria which helps in fixing nitrogen, atmospheric nitrogen in the soil. These are the useful bacteria. There are many harmful bacteria. Now let us talk about the harmful bacteria and what are the harmful effects which bacteria. Usually harmful effect means a disease. Every bacteria which causes a disease is a pathogen. Not only bacteria, any microorganism which causes a disease is called as a pathogen. A pathogen is a microorganism which causes diseases in human beings or animals or plants. So what are the different bacteria which causes different diseases? Let us try to understand. Let us list out bacterial diseases. The common bacterial diseases are typhoid, tuberculosis, cholera, These are diseases caused by bacteria. Let us try to understand how these diseases are caused. Typhoid is caused by Salmonella typhi. Salmonella typhi is a bacteria which causes typhoid. How it is caused? Salmonella typhi grows on drainages, and if open defecation takes place and the dirty matter, garbage, all these places, Salmonella typhi grows. And from that, how it is transmitted to our body? Flies sit on all these dirty places. When these flies sit on our food material, and if that contaminated food is consumed by us, we get Salmonella typhi into our body, which causes typhoid. It can be prevented by keeping our surroundings clean first, then taking care of our food. Our food should be covered when it is not used. Either it should be kept in a refrigerator, even otherwise it can be covered on a dining table or some place in the kitchen. It can be properly covered to prevent flies sitting on our food. As we know, flies go to many places, particularly dirty places. They sit on every damn thing, and if they come and sit on our food material is contaminated. That's how Salmonella typhi, a bacteria which causes typhoid, comes to us. And tuberculosis is commonly called as TB. These TB patients will be continuously coughing. It's a respiratory infection caused by bacteria. This also spreads from person to person. If a person who is affected by tuberculosis coughs, the tuberculosis bacterium is released into the atmosphere. If that contaminated air is inhaled by a healthy person, it enters into healthy person's body. That's how it causes. Even cholera, contaminated water. This is common during floody seasons. When there are floods, water is contaminated. If there are even festival seasons where thousands of people, lakhs of people take bath in a same place, where it causes water contamination. So contamination of food and water causes these diseases, and these diseases are caused by bacteria. Bacteria is the causative pathogen. Pathogen is the disease causing microorganism. So these diseases are caused by bacteria. Now, these can be prevented by taking simple precautions, simple health precautions. If we neglect taking these precautions, we have to suffer from these diseases. Since we are talking about bacteria, we have to also discuss about treating the bacteria. To treat bacterial diseases, there are medicines called antibiotics. There are medicines called antibiotics. The first antibiotic was penicillin. It was discovered by Alexander Fleming. Alexander Fleming, a scientist who discovered penicillin, which was the first antibiotic which acts against bacteria. These antibiotics either kill the bacteria or they stop or inhibit the growth of bacteria so that the disease is not increasing. These antibiotics are used against bacterial infections or bacterial diseases. Though the first antibiotic was penicillin, which was discovered by Alexander Fleming, later hundreds of thousands of antibiotics have come into the market, pharmaceutical market. For every disease almost today there is an antibiotic. For respiratory infections there are antibiotics. For skin infections there are antibiotics. For infections of the eyes, everywhere. Infection by bacteria, today there are medicines, nothing to worry about it. But best thing is to prevent these diseases by taking simple precautions. If we take precautions about our health, if we avoid these conditions which cause infections or diseases, we need not use antibiotics. Moreover, if we use antibiotics, that will have negative effects on our body also. Any medicine which is used to kill the microorganism or pathogen, it also damages our body cells. So better to avoid medicines. But when it is compulsory, when we are already infected by a bacterium, we have to use antibiotics, which are medicines used to treat bacterial infections which kill the bacteria or inhibit the growth of bacteria. Similarly, before bacteria we have discussed about viruses. Even viral diseases can be treated by using antiviral drugs. Antiviral drugs can be used to treat viral infections. So this is about two microorganisms, children. Our today's topic was microorganisms. In that microorganisms, in a list of 5 types of microorganisms: viruses, bacteria, protozoans, fungi and algae. These are the 5 microorganisms. Out of that, in this class we have studied in detail about 2 microorganisms, that is viruses and bacteria. What are the viruses? What are the harmful effects caused by viruses? Diseases caused by viruses we have listed out. And what are bacterial problems? Useful bacteria also we studied, and harmful bacteria also. We have studied useful bacteria, how they are useful, what are the useful bacteria, how they are useful to us, and harmful bacteria, what are the diseases caused by harmful bacteria and how these diseases can be treated, we studied in this class. So I suggest you go to your textbook thoroughly, read this lesson line by line, try to understand each and every word, and be prepared to write the assignment. I will give you an assignment also when we meet online. I will give an assignment. Till then, please go through your text. Watch my video carefully and then go through your textbook. Thank you.